Chapter 3 about data model. There are three components in the data model in entity relationship model. First one is entity, second one is attribute, third one is relationship. So usually entity depicted by rectangle, attribute are depicted by circular, relationship are depicted by diamond. In this chapter, I demonstrate entity relationship model, and later this end of chapter, they demonstrate entity transform into object class, demonstrate by UML diagram. When they transform the object class, entity added to operation. So we see the example. First example demonstrate company database. I want to read the detailed requirement. This is all demonstrate company requirement to construct a database. So at the end of this company database, they have 4 entities: department entity, project entity, employee entity, dependent entity. So department entity demonstrate in their box to describe with the attribute. They hanging around the circular to describe a department. So department has attribute name, department number, department manager start date, location. The project entity, they demonstrate a box. There are circular demonstrate to attribute hanging around it. Look at the project name, project number, project location. There's a department information in the project entity. So there are more entities here. Relationship between the entity, they demonstrate using diamond. So let's switch for page 30. They demonstrate relationship works for one-to-many relationship. One department has many employees work on. Manager relationship between employee and department manager, one and only one. So there are only one manager each department. Works on relationship between the project and employee. Each employee work on many project, many-to-many relationship. Each project works by many employee, M and N, many-to-many relationship. So maybe once we see a weak entity, we come back dependent weak entity. Also recursive relationship between the employee and employee. There are supervision, supervisor role, subordinate, supervisee role, demonstrate recursive relationship. Here, supervisor, supervision, subordinate, one-to-many, supervisor role, supervisee role, recursive relationship in demonstrating here. Weak entity demonstrated by double box. Dependent weak entity belong to parent employee. So if parent move to another, transfer to another company, the dependent automatically deleted. So because there's weak entity. The special attribute hours, number of hours you work on, belong to a relationship works on, because each employee work on many different projects. Number of hours he work on, employees work on, it cannot, this attribute cannot belong to project, or this attribute hours cannot belong to employee. So because employees work on many projects, so number of hours they work on the project had to be belong to a relationship works on. So the special recursive type attribute. So only there's only one example in this company database. So conventional classical ER diagram, we show box is an entity, double box is weak entity, diamond is a relationship, circular is attribute, the underline they demonstrate key attribute. Moving to object class, we're moving to demonstrate UML class diagram. The previous company database demonstrate ER diagram in page 30, page 45. Moving to UML diagram, they page 49. So employee entity moving to employee class, they have attribute plus operation encapsulated. So they apply age, change department, change project, operation. Also department entity moving to department object class, department name, department number plus encapsulate operation add employee, number of employee, then change manager or operation they can apply to dependent as no operation, only attribute, project object class, data member project name and number, or operation on this project object class, add employee, add project, change manager, all this operation there. So we mentioned in first week, oracles only have create objects. So we're going to create object beside the table. So when you create objects employee, table employee has only attribute, but we have added to operation encapsulate to the object employee. So at the time maybe we like to exercise using Oracle object class. This conventional about notation. Relationship, typically binary relationship involve two entities, but we have a tunnel relationship, have three entities, more than three, we call n-ary relationship. But database diagram only have mostly binary relationship, binary or recursive relationship. So this example, tunnel relationship, we have a university database demonstrate more entity than company database and more relationship, so it looks more complicated EI model. So I want to get a little exercise your homework assignment number 1. In this chapter, demonstrate classical EI model with entity attribute relationship, and we're moving to object orientation, object class diagram using UML diagram. There are many company, big enterprise company using data model tool. Some are more expensive license, some is free, but this is most likely licensed data model tool. So I want to get free data model tool for doing your assignment. So going to visit this draw.io, this website, to download, select your class diagram or ER diagram, try to using this free tool. Next chapter using enhanced extended relationship.